Welcome back to the broadcast dedicated to dissecting the classified documents that reveal how intelligence agencies turn the most common fundamental human behaviors into tools for surveillance and identification. Today we abandon esoteric physics and turn our focus to the oldest form of human communication, the voice. We address the chilling fact that U.S. intelligence explored the possibility of using the voice not just for its semantic content, but as an absolute persistent biological identifier, a universal footprint made of sound. We are analyzing the CIA's involvement in acoustic biosignature analysis, treating the human voice box as a complex instrument with a unique measurable physical output that cannot be altered or disguised effectively. Our primary evidence is the declassified file CIA-RDP78-00267R000100020008-3. This highly sensitive report is titled, quote, Vocal Chord Microanalysis and Identity Persistence, end quote. It confirms that acoustical and biometric resources were tasked with evaluating the scientific challenges of isolating and measuring the unique structural characteristics of the vocal cords and the respiratory tract, which impart a distinct, non-replicable voice print. The context here is the ultimate persistent identification tool, and a world of sophisticated communication masking, voice alteration software, and the widespread use of deepfakes, the ability to confirm identity via the physical mechanism of sound production, rather than the sound itself, is the final unassailable biometric gate. The file's existence confirms that the very act of speaking was viewed as a continuous voluntary broadcast of highly personal, persistent physical data. The analysis focuses on two primary areas: micro-vibrational signatures for robust identification and masking failure to defeat attempts at voice alteration. Let's drill down into the rigorous acoustical methodology documented in this file. The analysts were not listening for what was said, but how the sound was physically generated. The file required an intense focus on vocal cord microanalysis. This involves utilizing high-resolution audio processing to detect minute anomalies in the sound wave that are caused by the unique physical structure of an individual's vocal cords, larynx, and nasal passages. These subtle differences, or micro-vibrational signatures, are impossible to replicate and are resistant to conventional voice modification. The goal was to create a biometric template based on physical structure rather than acoustic frequency. The difference in size, thickness, elasticity, and muscle tension of the vocal cords creates a unique traceable harmonic fingerprint. The document includes technical specifications for establishing microacoustical thresholds, the minimum measurable deviation required to declare positive identification with 99.99% certainty. This confirms the research focused on the anatomical roots of sound. Crucially, the file dedicated an entire section to defeating voice masking. The analysis concluded that while a person can change their pitch, volume, or even dialect, they cannot alter the fundamental micro-vibrational pattern imparted by their anatomical structure. This meant that disguises like speaking in a low whisper, yelling, or speaking with a foreign accent failed to conceal the core biometric signature. We must now examine the primary finding, the agency's assessment of the persistence of the voice print. This is a critical excerpt regarding the confirmation of viability. Quote, experimental data confirms that the biometric signature derived from vocal cord microanalysis exhibits a persistent and uniqueness comparable to dermatoglyphic data, i.e. fingerprints, providing a stable and reliable identification vector regardless of attempted acoustic masking, end quote. And then from a section discussing application, it says, quote, this technology provides the necessary intelligence capability to track high-value targets operating within noise-saturated environments or attempting communication via deep cover, voice-altered protocols, end quote. This is the true meaning of the file. It states that your voice's mandatory, continuous, biometric marker. The agency saw an opportunity to utilize this natural physiological phenomenon to unmask and track targets deemed untouchable by other forms of surveillance. The focus shifted from, what did the speaker say, to which speaker is this? We now address the chilling operational implications of this file, the use of acoustic biosignature in global intelligence gathering. The most extensive redactions occur in the section titled Collection and Storage of Voice Print Database and Real-Time Cross-Reference Protocols. This suggests detailed discussions around the methodologies used to covertly collect massive global voice print samples and the algorithms required to instantaneously cross-reference a target's signature against their vast database. Why redact database protocols? Because the method of collecting and storing a global catalog of unchangeable personal identifiers represents a profound technological and ethical breach of privacy. The existence of such a database and the method of its creation is the most sensitive part of the program. The concept discussed is the creation of an untraceable tracking system. If a target uses any voice communication system, a telephone, a radio, a simple conversation recorded by a distant parabolic microphone, their unique biometric signature is captured, logged, and tracked, providing an undeniable record of their presence and activity. The file details the requirement for high-speed signal processing equipment capable of stripping away environmental noise and semantic content to isolate the pure physical vibrational signature. This equipment would be deployed in bulk within covert listening posts and signal intelligence collection centers. The strategic weaponization of this research is clear. It is a pervasive identity weapon. A state possessing this capability can effectively eliminate the anonymity of speech, turning every conversation, every whisper, and every command into an indelible, unique tracking beacon. We conclude our analysis of this file. The existence and scope of the research confirm that U.S. intelligence treated the acoustic biosignature as an actionable, high-priority strategic objective. The implication is that analysis moved into the sphere of applied anatomical biometrics, seeking to exploit the natural, unchangeable physiology of the human body for global identification and tracking. This research represents the ultimate weaponization of your own voice. If this documented truth has opened your mind to the technological boundaries explored by those in power, we require your continued support. First, like this episode and leave us a detailed 5-star review wherever you listen. This is how the analysis cuts through the illusion of anonymity. Second, share this episode with someone obsessed with biometrics, cryptography, or audio surveillance. We need more sharp minds analyzing these documented facts. Next, we move from the complex, subtle vibrations of the human body to the algorithmic prediction of human choice and free will. We will analyze the CIA's classified research into projective simulation and computational behavior modeling. The agency's attempt to construct vast, high-fidelity computer models capable of forecasting the precise actions of adversary leaders, populations, and key global actors under various stress conditions. For our next investigation, we will dissect and analyze CIA document RDP75-006-2000-2000-2000-3-8, a chilling file concerning quantifying free will and the future of strategic prediction. What were the computational limits on simulating millions of simultaneous human decisions? What ethical lines were crossed in attempting to model and exploit perceived vulnerabilities in human rationale? And what does this reveal about the ultimate goal of intelligence, the ability to know the future before it happens? Tune in next for Project Remote View, Simulating Destiny and the Predictive Mind. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question who is listening, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.